welcome back. As you can see, I've cleared pretty much everything that I'm not going to use immediately out of the way. I just want to be able to have the piece. I want to be able to have the stuff that I'm going to use. I've got my big stripper here. I got my little guy, even though I very rarely have a need for it, but sometimes, again, littler kind of fatter point isn't bad, or if I need to kind of get into a groove, sometimes just having a little smaller piece works. And again, I've got my brush. This is the box I was talking about. We're gonna scrape as much as possible and kind of try to dump it in that box. Also got my handy dandy rag, which I kind of tuck in the back pocket here to keep it out of the way so I don't dump anything on it. And in this case, I'll just toss it over there. And I've got a container full of Jasco. You can't really see it in here, but we're gonna start putting it on this thing, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through it. The biggest thing, man, this stuff is, my wife hates the smell of this stuff. I actually like it. I think it kind of smells almost minty, but she really hates it. So I just, two things about Jasco. One is it doesn't burn as much as it used to if it gets on your skin, but it still does burn you. It's a chemical burn. The old Jasco with the methylene chloride formula, if you got a little speck of that on you, it felt like somebody was putting a cigarette out on you. And there were times where I didn't realize I'd gotten any on me, and I couldn't see it, but it burned. So you know, again, that's why I've got the thick gloves, kind of 3/4 length sleeve, a shirt that I clearly don't care about. Same thing with the pants. So the second thing is you want to shake the Jasco up. Keep the lid on it, keep the cap on it, shake the hell out of it, because it is a gel. You want to be able to make sure that it hasn't separated or hasn't overheated or anything. If you're out in some place where it gets really hot, and this happens here even during the summer, the heat on the can will create gas and it'll start to expand the can. So always open that can very slowly. Open it like you were opening a soda bottle with you know, that's kind of gotten shaken up a little bit. You want to let the gas out of there. You don't want to crank it open, because if it spits on you, again, it's not going to be a lot of fun. I don't wear anything more than my glasses for eye protection, because I'm usually not that worried about this phase of the thing. If you are a little bit concerned that you might flick yourself, get yourself some goggles, not the end of the world. But you want to get yourself a nice thick, I mean, you can kind of see how it's dripping off of there. You want to get, don't feel like you got to be cheap with this stuff, because it's better off to use it. And then just kind of paint it on there. You want it nice and thick, and you want to make sure that you're getting into those spots where the grooves are and stuff like that, because that's where it becomes harder to sand and scrape, especially if you haven't gotten all the varnish off. Those little spots are a real pain in the keister if you don't get enough on there. So don't be cheap with it. It's like 50 bucks a gallon, and you can get a lot of pieces out of a gallon. So don't worry that you're going to run out, but that's why I told you to buy the gallon. And again, if you're asking yourself, well, is there a pattern or anything? The answer is no. Just making sure that I get the thing covered well enough to be able to make sure that it's all covered. And again, you don't want to leave any spot untouched. You can always get more Jasco, and again, you want it nice and thick. You want it so that it's a heavy brush on, and again, because it's gel, you don't have to worry about it running all over the place. You need it to be able to be just kind of on top of this thing as much as you possibly can. So I kind of just emptied the whole bottle, the whole little ramekin here, into this just to prove a point, which is that once you get it on there, it's going to start doing some work. As a matter of fact, I can kind of start seeing some of this already, but I'm just making sure that I'm spreading it. It doesn't have to be even. Nothing bad will happen if it's a little thicker in one area, a little thinner in the other, as long as it's on there the right way. And I take this and I put it to the side. Want it to get it out of the way, not because of anything in particular, other than I'm usually a klutz and I'll break the damn thing. But as you can see, I mean, that is gel, and it's hanging on there. And you can also see, if you look down at the tablecloth there, you can start to see the brown coming off already. Jasco is clear, but the brown is, it's eating away at the finish already. So when that gets on there, you don't really have to wait a whole heck of a long time. You can if you want to, as long as you don't let it dry. If it dries, not the end of the world. You're just going to have to re-wet it. It's almost like contact cement. You just got to get more Jasco and put it on there to kind of invigorate it. But then when you're ready, you grab yourself your tool, and what you're literally trying to do, and again, I'm grabbing my trusty rag here just to make sure that I kind of have this going on. You just basically try to go with the grain and then kind of scoop up the stuff. You can kind of see on that blade how nasty that stuff is. You can see it's kind of like thick, and now it's like dripping. You can kind of see that. So what I like to do is just kind of give it a quick flick and then scrape the edge onto the box. I then try to clean the blade a little bit. But again, it's not like the blade's going to have any problems getting through this stuff. So you just kind of keep doing that as you go. So the goal is to try to get as much of the crud off of there as possible. And again, the nice thing about Jasco is that it's not a one-shot deal. You can always apply a second coat if you feel like there's more crud on there that needs to be taken off. The worst I think I ever did for any kind of stripping was I had a lady's table, and it was a drop leaf table. It's from her great-grandmother from the old farmhouse. And what ended up happening is every time that the fashion sense changed, they painted it a different color. And they kept painting it different colors all the time. And eventually it got, it got to her, and she really loved wood, and she wanted it to have the white legs that it had, but she also wanted it to be a wood top. Now you can kind of see here, I'm going to come a little closer so you can see this. If you look just very carefully on the edge there, you'll see up here it's a little drier, and down here it's a little drier. What that meant is I didn't get enough Jasco on it, but I'm still lifting it up. It's still going to be fine. But that's how you can tell if you're kind of just scraping up the top coat and that the Jasco wasn't on there enough. So, in a lot of these cases, you'll notice that, where you just get a little bit, you get a lot of the goop, and then you get maybe a little dry spot. It looks kind of like powdered chocolate. But anyways, this lady's table, when I started stripping it, it was like taking a trip back in time, because I went from like white to like kind of like 90s cream to white to kind of like those 80s colors to white to this kind of like 70s like avocado color, and then kept going and kept going and kept going, and it was like the pastels of the 50s and 40s. By the time I got done with this stupid thing, it was just ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to scrape everything in front of you. I'm going to do a little bit off camera, but what I do want to do is I want to show you the point trick that I'm talking about. So you can kind of see how you can drag that point in here to kind of pick stuff off. But this is a really sharp point. This one's a little duller and it's a little wider. So what it does is it glides a little more smoothly, and it also picks up more stuff. So if you're trying to, kind of get into the groove a little bit there and get some of this stuff out, which you should, definitely should, that's where that wider point comes in handy to be able to kind of strip that out. The other thing I'll show you before we part ways on this video, because I'm going to end up doing a little bit more with this, is the edge. Again, you're not going to be able to scrape much with the scraper, which is why this guy comes in handy. So I'm taking this and I'm literally just kind of rocking it around the edges, trying to kind of deal with the edge as I go. So that's why these are really good. They take off that extra stuff. Sometimes, and again, this is with this new non-methylene kind of formula thing, a cloth actually works a little bit better to get that first layer off, and then you come back with this guy, and it's almost like a little mini sandpaper. It kind of takes a little bit more off there. Yeah, this is coming off a little bit more nicely now. So sometimes it's the cloth that gets the goop off, but you can kind of see now on that edge, it's a little bit lighter. The other thing I like to do with these sanding pads is sometimes once I get down to like this, it won't be as clear here because I need to do another layer of Jasco. But I'll kind of take one of these things and I'll kind of, you know, buff it down just to get rid of the excess kind of stuff that's on there, just to pick that up out of there and kind of clean that off. So that's when you can see it gets drier, it gets smoother. So that's all for this one. I'm gonna hit the rest of this thing, and the next time we get together, we will do legs, we'll do the middle part, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully this is working for you.